So in this segment, we're going to be talking about Penny Mordaunt promising to, saying, I'll get Brexit redone. What happened? You've been in charge for the last few years. You got Brexit done. What's happened? Why is Brexit not going so well? She goes, you'll put more pounds in people's pockets. Sounds very socialist. Chief among my party's manifesto commitments in the 2019 general election was the pledge to deliver Brexit and take advantage of the great opportunities that leaving the EU would provide. I don't remember that second half being part of the manifesto, but if it is, you're not doing the best job. I will try and put something up here to kind of block out the sidebar because it's kind of gross. It is the Sun after all. Johnson managed to get Brexit done. The huge task for the next Conservative leader and Prime Minister will be to deliver the Brexit dividend. And again, what is the Brexit dividend? What are you talking about? Because the only things you've talked about are Solvency II and using plastic for sparkling wine. The huge task for the next Conservative leader and Prime Minister will be to deliver the Brexit dividend. This is crucial. This is the crucial second half of the guarantee we made to people across our great country. And unless you deliver it, you're going to see the support for Brexit keep tanking. It's already down to about 45%. It's going to keep going down. He said it's every bit as important that we deliver now. After the damage left by the pandemic, we will not let the naysayers limit our ambitions. And again, what are you guys doing? The level upping agenda is a joke. Realising the opportunities provided by Brexit is well within our grasp, is there for the taking. We can seize this chance for our entire United Kingdom. A key ambition for me as Prime Minister is to deliver that Brexit dividend, to see the UK as a growing force for good in the world. Again, we haven't been that great as a growing force for the UK, for the world even, especially when we're reneging on our net zero targets. Promoting high standards, I mean, we're doing deals with countries that have much lower standards than us. Human rights, we're doing trade deals apparently with the Gulf countries that don't include bits about human rights. And standing up for the democracy and freedom. Again, the first past the post system is very undemocratic. The freedom we now possess can stimulate a new level of economic growth. How? It says now that we left the European Union, we can cut red tape and help our innovators do what they do best, which is what? Cut red tape. It's going to make exports more difficult. So even if we do come up with innovative new technologies, unless they're manufactured in the EU, they're not going to be able to export them because of the fact that they're going to have to be regulated by the EU. And once they do try to export them, they'll all be checked, which is going to add massive cost to them. She says we can simplify the tax system so businesses don't waste resources on compliance. I mean, that seems fine, as long as, simplifying it doesn't mean cutting taxes stealth ways. In fairness, she recently talked about on her website, I was reading about it today, where she was saying, she wanted to put renting, the amount of people pay for rent as part of their credit history, their credit reports, so that people can afford to pay rent. It should help them get a mortgage, etc., which I thought was fine. But she hasn't really got much. She talks about the 4 I's: investment, infrastructure, incentives, and innovation. We've seen a fall of foreign direct investment. Our infrastructure is crumbling. Incentives, more socialism, and innovation. All our innovators are going. She says, as Prime Minister, I'm the Prime Minister that Labour don't want. I mean, because you're going to wreck the economy, sure. I think it's tough to know which ones Labour actually would do best against. Brexit will allow us to meet the lofty goals of the levelling up agenda. The levelling up agenda is a joke. The money is less than what the EU structural funds were. So it's absolutely ridiculous to argue levelling up will even happen. Rejuvenating local communities and revitalising local economies, that's not happening. You're decimating them. The ones that are reliant predominantly on agriculture and farming, agriculture and fishing, have been absolutely decimated by Brexit. They know that the key to the Conservative Party holding the red wall and keeping Labour out of power is achieving the Brexit dividend. And again, you're never going to be able to hold the red wall. Like, that's a once in a lifetime thing, once in a generation type thing for you guys to win the red wall. She says, I've got the positive vision of what post-Brexit Britain can be, and it's fine to have a positive vision, but there's no way for you to achieve it. She says, I have the drive, the determination to bring our whole party and the whole country together. I don't think you do. Says Labour know most of that. I would fatally expose how weak their position is on Brexit, how little faith they have in the country. And the problem is, right, when you criticise Brexit or the Tory government or whatever, they say you've got no faith in the country. The two things are not the same. She says Starmer has been desperate to convince us he wants to make Brexit work, but what he really means is that he wants to slowly chip away at it and even subtly reverse it. I mean, if that's what getting alignment deals does, then fair enough. That is what making Brexit is working for the Labour Party. It's about slowly but surely undermining what has been achieved so far. But what has been achieved so far, apart from destroying our exports, what have you achieved? Starmer can't be trusted because he didn't reach this position out of principle. I mean, sure, but neither did Liz. Let's be honest here. He's being pragmatic. He's not being dogmatic. He didn't come to the latest conclusion because of a deeply held belief in Britain's potential outside the EU as I did. And again, where is this potential? Why are we not seeing it unfold? We've done the worst out of EU countries when it comes to our handling of the pandemic. Where was Britain's potential then? You guys were in charge then. You didn't do anything. Genuinely stupid. She says big challenges lie ahead to make sure that we keep Labour out of power and deliver the promised Brexit dividend. And again, you're not achieving either of those, really. Have you seen the polls lately? But she says the prize on offer is too great to fail. I mean, the prize to be Prime Minister, that's not how I would define it. Being Prime Minister, being the leader of a country is not a prize to be won. It comes with a huge burden, a huge cost. To themselves, they have to give up. You have to give up a lot to be Prime Minister, at least a good Prime Minister, anyways. She's trying to frame this as I'm the one to get Brexit done, but more importantly, she's saying she's the one to unite the party and get stop Labour from winning, and that's kind of her big pledge. Because this isn't really an article to Tory MPs. This is more something for the members to read, and that's what she's trying to spin as. She's the one that can unite the party, and I think maybe out of the three, she might be the hardest to deal with. I don't know. She speaks well. She's not a complete moron, at least not in terms of the leadership context. She hasn't come out and looked like a complete moron compared to the other two, Sunak and Liz Truss. So I don't know, but she might not even make it to the ballot, to be honest. She might not make it to the ballot because there's a theory that Sunak would rather face off against Liz Truss, so he might give away more of his votes to Liz Truss to get her over the line to be the second person, the second person to face off against him. But again, I don't know how true that is. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support the channel on Patreon if you can, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.